Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news. The whole Madueke situation seems to have escalated to a new level. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen, from Simon Phillips. Basically, I don't think many Chelsea players will be risking turning up late to an important meeting again anytime soon. ... Disclaimer, that wasn't the only issue. #Madueke. Ladies and gentlemen, before we delve deep into this whole topic, and there is a lot that we need to talk about Joao Felix as well, some important information coming out in regards to Joao Felix. Renato Veiga, he was also not included in the bench, in the squad altogether. Why? We'll let you know, and other bits and bobs that's been floating around as well. Before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Let's get to 38,000 subscribers. Let's make sure by you hitting the like button, it's going to help grow the channel as well. So make sure you do that and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this Madueke situation. So we heard earlier today, well, not really from any source, but it was a rumor that was floating around that perhaps he didn't train hard enough throughout the week, and this is why he was dropped, possibly against Fulham. Now we're hearing that he came late for the meeting, and apparently this isn't the only issue. Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm going to say about Madueke is, let's make it very clear for the 100th time. I think his underlying skill set is good. He could potentially be a top-level player, but this player's inconsistencies and his attitude for me absolutely sucks. It absolutely sucks. If he got his attitude right, don't forget all the shenanigans this player got up to last season. When he was supposedly ill or injured, he was found at a nightclub. The whole penalty situation with himself, Cole Palmer, and Nicholas Jackson, and a whole heap of other little bits and pieces that he's been involved in. All the shenanigans he does on his Instagram stories. And this season, repeatedly, Enzo Maresca publicly has shamed this player, saying he needs to give more. He needs to train harder. He needs to not get too excited once he scores once or he does one assist. He needs to be hungry for more, and more. This player, for me, he has an attitude of Cristiano Ronaldo, but honestly, he's nowhere near that levels. He can potentially be at a high level. He just needs to humble himself. I don't know where this arrogance comes from for Madueke, but it's ruining him. He is his own biggest enemy. That's how I look at it. If he just sort of said to himself, let's humble my attitude a little bit. Look, no one is saying that don't go out there and don't be competitive and show a little bit of aggression. That's all well and dandy, and that makes you a good competitor. But for some reason, he moves on. Even when he scores, he thinks he's done something special. He'll go to the sideline and be like, looking at it, or he'll be going, you've not done anything, Madueke. Look at Cole Palmer, for instance. He scores one. He wants to score a second one. He wants to score a third one. We need that level of attitude. And Nicholas Jackson falls into that same category. One goal and he feels like he's satisfied. I'm belly full after one goal or an assist. Belly full. No. Elite players have a different mentality. They just want to keep doing the same thing repeatedly, keep scoring, keep assisting, and they're never satisfied. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, Madueke, we'll see whether he starts against Ipswich. It's not going to be an easy game against Ipswich. I've been watching Ipswich against Arsenal, and they're holding up quite well. They're defending quite well, so it's not going to be easy. I do, presume that Madueke will be back into the team, and I hope Madueke this time around train hard, don't come to the meetings late, and I fully back Enzo Maresca. There are a few certain, fans out there in the fan base saying, how dare Maresca do that? Look at the bench. It was so weak. I mean, just to show your own power, was it worth it to drop Madueke? 100% it was worth it. I don't care if it's Madueke. I would say the same thing if it was Cole Palmer, and I like Cole Palmer a lot. No player has the right to be disrespectful. When there is a meeting and there's a set schedule, you come on time. during training. How dare you not train up to Maresca standards? How dare you? Who do you think you are? You think you're Eden Hazard, that you can get away with it? Eden Hazard, even though he wasn't the best trainer, but when it came to match days, yeah, he brought the quality. You think you're Eden Hazard? No. Less of that, less of that. These players, they need to wake up and they need to smell the coffee and they need to realize that you have to work hard. You have to work hard. Madueke has had 3 strikes by Maresca, one in August about training, another before Aston Villa about training again, and now what we can only assume as strike 3 by Maresca. Chelsea have no plans to sell Madueke in January. No one's asking for this player to be sold in January. I think Enzo Maresca, he's given him enough chances this season as well. He started a lot, but bottom line, it makes me think that Enzo Maresca probably doesn't truly rate him, especially his attitude and his lack of hunger to produce more. So yeah, look, I don't know about January, whether we're going to let him go. I don't think so. I think he's too important this season. But come next season in the summer, with Esteban Willian, just on the cards as well, we'll see what happens. Bottom line, I don't think there's a future for Noni Madueke at Chelsea Football Club unless he changes his attitude. That's the disclaimer from my end. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Noni Madueke. Maresca further goes on to say, Noni responded very good to being dropped to the bench versus Aston Villa. I expect the same this time. The competition has to be higher. Not only Noni, but also Renato Veiga. Ladies and gentlemen, Renato Veiga was also left out of the squad. And for similar situation, apparently, it goes, this is the news in regards to Renato Veiga. Renato Veiga was left out for the same reason as Madueke, according to Maresca. The reason was technical decision. Now, a lot of people are interpreting that as not training well enough. I think there is definitely some truth behind that, especially for Madueke, because history suggests that he's been of that nature. Same thing for Renato Veiga. And same, I have a same view on this. Renato Veiga, how dare you not train well enough? What gives you the right to have subpar training sessions under Enzo Maresca? Renato Veiga, look, I'm guilty. I'll put my hand up straight away. I'm guilty to hype this player up. This player has a lot to develop still. A lot. There's a reason why he doesn't get considered in the Premier League, because he's not Premier League level. I'm sorry, in the beginning I thought he was something special. We've uncovered another gem. I think with Renato Veiga, we need to calm ourselves down. He's young, he'll develop. We'll see. Right now, he's not the level. And when you're not the level that is required at Chelsea Football Club, and then on top of that, you don't train hard enough and you get left out of the squad, that's not a good look at all, ladies and gentlemen. It is not a good look. So once again, let me know your thoughts about Renato Veiga. Next up, a little bit of information about Joao Felix. Nothing that we didn't know already, but it does pose a clear picture on the situation, and I want to delve deep into that with you guys. Check this out. Guilhem, I hope I pronounced that, Beleg, close to Maresca, said this on his YouTube channel 2 weeks ago. As I said, this is not something, what I'm about to read is not something that we don't know already, but it's good to reiterate the whole scenario again. I've talked to the director of football ownership and Maresca himself at a time where everyone was having a go at Chelsea. The club basically wants Enzo to be the coach of the players they give him. The only player he perhaps wasn't so convinced by was Joao Felix, but the club said, please take him. We know you are going to make him better. The rest of the players are the ones he wanted. The club have said to him, if he wants a player, let them know. But the player has to be under 24 years of age, as the club want to create this squad of hungry players that have the ability to improve. Thanks to my followers for showing me this. So this is PY saying, thanks to my followers for showing me this. So does this explain the latest Felix exclusions? And if so, is it yet another manager that isn't on the same page in terms of ideas and visions as the hierarchy? Now, look, I wouldn't go as far as saying that the manager isn't in the same page as the hierarchies, because we actually wanted Samuel Omordion. We never wanted Joao Felix. Let's make that 100% clear. When Samuel Omordion fell off, because of the Gallagher transfer, we needed to do business, and this is why we had to take Joao Felix off Atletico Madrid, because Atletico Madrid needed to offset the purchase of Gallagher as well. Now, this puts us in a massive predicament because it's now clear. There has to be a clear reason why Enzo Maresca doesn't utilize Joao Felix repeatedly. He's an unused sub in the Premier League repeatedly. And the reason is he doesn't rate him. It's simple as that. He doesn't rate him. Whether we like the player or not, I like the player. I think he's a good player, but it's a bit of a trend. So many managers don't seem to like this player. And we have to ask the question, is it the player or is it the managers? I'm starting to think it's the player that has an issue. Bottom line is, we need to get rid of Joao Felix down the track. If Enzo Maresca doesn't find, any particular moment to use Joao Felix when we need a goal, then there's no benefit of having a player like Joao Felix. We need to find a solution for him, whether it's in the January, whether it's down the track in the summer, unless we see otherwise, unless we start seeing that both player and managers can come together in a middle ground and work together. But right now, it doesn't look like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's the thing. Once again, I back Enzo Maresca. I was getting annoyed. Why doesn't Enzo Maresca utilize Joao Felix? But if he doesn't rate him, if he doesn't trust him, no problems. I back the manager more than the player because the manager has done a very good job at Chelsea Football Club so far. And I'd rather him operate in his own ideology as opposed to trying to deviate away from his plan just to please the hierarchy. So this is definitely a problem, and I hope this problem doesn't become a big deal. We already have problems with Mudryk. We now have problems with Joao Felix, and Madueke seems to be a problem as well. So hopefully all of these things doesn't derail our season, because it can turn out to be a bit of a virus in the team. So once again, watch this space. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, some interesting comment. And look, once again, I'm not surprised. And I think this is the striker that we might be going for. Check this out. Maresca. Liam Delap is a fantastic player. We spent 1 year together and he scored 24 goals. This is very good striker. He works hard off the ball, and on the ball, he understands the game and he can score goals. He can be an important player for England. Look at the way Maresca describes this player. He works hard off the ball. That was his first thing before he said on the ball, because as a striker, you got to be good on the ball, but off the ball, it's very important for Enzo Maresca. Off the ball work rate is absolute paramount. And the way he's praising Liam Delap, look, I think this is the one that Chelsea's most likely looking at. And I've got no problems with that. I think Liam Delap is a quality player, he's a young player, and he can develop into a monster, much like how we looked at John Duran not that long ago, thinking, what's John Duran all about? And look at John Duran right now. Same with Samuel Omordion as well. So I'm not, deviating away from our scouts, looking at Liam Delap. If they're looking at him, then there's something good about Liam Delap. And from what I've seen already of Liam Delap, there's definitely a lot of good in Liam Delap, and he can only develop a lot more as the years progress. And under Enzo Maresca, I think he could potentially be a monster, and he would be a very good competition for Nicholas Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the latest in Chelsea news. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Comment and let me know your thoughts about everything you spoke about. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Goodbye.